Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for another exciting episode. And this one, we're going to be talking about the Utah Mammoths players and their fantasy relevance. In the past, I've done videos like this where I go through every player that has any fantasy relevance at all on a given team. And basically, I assess where they should be going this year in drafts and kind of give you guys an idea of if they're actually going to be good value this year in fantasy drafts. Now, if you're wondering, Julian, why did you choose the Utah Mammoth to do your first team-specific video this year? Well, for one thing, their logo is freaking sexy. All right? And second thing, if you're wondering how I got this jersey early, it's a knockoff. Don't worry about that. Yeah, no, I didn't manage to get one before they actually went on sale or anything like that. But it's a pretty good looking knockoff, and I'm a big fan of Dylan Guenther. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to get into this video, guys. And without further ado, just drop a like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah, if you want to take that support to the next level, do make sure to check the Patreon link down below. Let's jump right into it though, guys, and let's start with the most fantasy relevant player according to NHL.com, and that is Clayton Keller. Now, oftentimes on these video guys, I put ADP instead of rank here, but we don't actually have any ADPs yet because Yahoo hasn't really opened their drafting yet. So Clayton Keller, what you see next to him, that rank 39 is where NHL has him ranked on their top 200 fantasy players. Now, I pretty much exactly agree with NHL here. I have him as the 34th best skater, and he's pretty much right on the dot when you factor in goalies as well. Clayton Keller is poised to have an amazing season this coming year. Already scoring 90 points last season. Another year skating on a line with Cooley and Guenther. Come on. He's bound to have himself a phenomenal season. And I'm really excited to see what Utah can do this year because with the acquisition of JJ Peterka, who you see a couple spots down on the list, they might actually contend for a playoff spot and actually be a pretty filthy team. Dylan Guenther, right underneath Clayton Keller, scored 60 points in 70 games as, well, not quite a rookie, but pretty much. It was his second year. First year didn't play that many games. And that was just awesome to see from Dylan Guenther. And he's so young and can only get better. And if he does end up playing on that top line with Keller and Cooley, he's going to get plenty of points because he's guaranteed to be on that top power play. He was last year, was very good on it. And if he can stay healthy all year, he can definitely hit 70 points, no problem. And can probably do even better than that. JJ Peterka, traded from the Buffalo Sabres last year, got 68 points in 77 games on Buffalo. And he was another breakout player last year, just like Guenther, and he was just awesome fantasy-wise for most of the year. Not quite as good as Guenther, but Peterka was definitely someone I like a lot, and if he does end up getting on that top power play with the likes of Keller and Guenther, yeah, that's going to be a treat for Peterka, and he should get plenty of points this year. NHL does have him at rank 83. I think that's a bit high. I have him a little bit lower than that, around a little bit over the 100 mark. But I don't absolutely hate reaching for this guy since he's just so talented and definitely could exceed that. Logan Cooley is another guy who I like a lot this year. The only thing I don't like about Cooley is that he is a natural center. Now, NHL has him at rank 84, and I have him at a very similar rank myself in my rankings. I do think he's going to have an amazing season, being the top line, top power play guy there in Utah, playing with some really great players. 65 points in 75 games last year is no joke, and he should do even better than that this year. He's so young still and has only room to grow. Mikhail Sergachev is another guy who I like a lot, and he's pretty much a lock to beat top power play in Utah, so he's a very safe draft pick. Drafting him at 107 is pretty much where I would rank him anyway, so that's a pretty good spot for him. If you can get him there, that's good value, and usually if you can get defensemen at their actual value, that's pretty good because people often reach for defensemen. So Sergachev there, I don't mind that. 53 points last year in 77 games, and with potentially an even stronger power play this year, he could do even better. Karel Vejmelka is the goaltender over there in Utah, and NHL has him ranked 172. It's a little bit hard to rank Vejmelka right now because the situation around Utah's goalies right now is a little bit confusing. Now, Vejmelka was the starter for the last half of the year last year because Ingram went into the player assistance program. Now, usually when you go into the player assistance program, you come out at some point. To my knowledge, Ingram is still in the player assistance program. Now, Utah also went and signed Vitek Vanacek this offseason, which leads me to kind of believe that Ingram's not going to be coming out of the player assistance program anytime soon. If I'm getting that right, I mean, why would they sign a very competent backup goalie if Ingram was going to be ready to start the year? So a little bit strange there, but Vejmelka, for at least the time being, should be the starter because he's much better than Vanacek. And then if Ingram does come back at some point this season, Vejmelka could end up splitting starts a little bit more because Ingram's actually a pretty solid goalie himself. I have him ranked as the number 24 goalie this year, but definitely he could exceed that. He's a little bit low just because of that uncertainty. Nick Schmaltz had himself a heck of a year last year with 63 points in 82 games. I believe that's a career high for him. The one thing that's really not making me high on Nick Schmaltz this year is the fact that he may lose his spot on Power Play 1. And that is significant because he did score 25 of his 63 points on the power play last year. If JJ Peterka ends up taking that spot on the power play, Nick Schmaltz's point production could go down significantly. Now, I think he's still a top 200 player, probably. But if he does lose that top power play spot altogether, he could definitely slip outside the top 200 players. So I'd be a little bit wary on drafting Nick Schmaltz this year. Definitely check the preseason lines. If he is still on the top power play, that's fine. That's actually pretty decent value at 195. But if he's not, I'd be a little bit worried. Then Barrett Hayton. Now, NHL doesn't have him ranked on their list, but I do have him just inside the top 250 skaters. So if you include goalies, he's not a top 250 player for me. Maybe top 300. Not someone I'm taking unless I'm in an ultra deep league. But yeah, Barrett Hayton's not horrible. Should be the second line center in Utah, so the opportunities will be there with pretty decent line mates. He definitely could break out this year with better line mates. But I'm not holding my breath, and I'm not really drafting him unless I'm in an ultra deep league. And finally, Jack McBain is the third line center in Utah, and I actually like him a little bit better than Hayton because in hits leagues, he's got a little bit of value. He gives you a very, very safe floor every night because he does hit quite a bit, and if hits do count for quite a bit in your league, well, that's not going to be awful, and he is probably going to squeak inside the top 200 skaters, which gives you value late in your draft if you're in a super deep league. And those are pretty much all the relevant guys in Utah. I could have mentioned guys like a Sean Dursey, but really nobody else in Utah I really see having any value outside of maybe Ingram if he comes back from the player assistance program. And even him, he's going to have to take over as the starting goalie or at least split starts to have any kind of value. And if Vejmelka's playing well, that's probably not going to happen. So yeah, I'm not overly high on anybody outside this list. Let me know who you think is going to have the best year this year in Utah. And if you enjoyed this video, guys, drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.